Hello, everybody, and welcome to Team Fortress TV. Tonight, we're going to be casting the Week 4 invite match between froyotech and Ascent, two titans of our division. I'm the BILLDOZER, and joining me tonight is cornpop, making a glorious return to the casting scene of TF2. Cornpop, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm a little bit tired, but you know what? A match like this, froyotech Ascent, I'm getting excited, and yeah, this should be a good one. We're here on Granary, which is a little bit disappointing, not gonna lie, but I think the two teams just look as a good show.
Yeah, Granary is a map that has been pretty slow throughout the years. I think it's been improved a little bit ever since there is a pro version of it added that opened up some of these choke points a little bit. But we've been seeing both of these teams putting up very strong performances against their competitors in these first 4 weeks. Why don't you take us through Ascent's roster, Cornpop?
Sure, so the new version of Ascent is going to be formed with Skis on Medic, Yite is playing Demoman, Laz and Jay are both going to be playing on Soldier, and then Bot Mode and Slumnish will round out the team on Scout.
And as for froyotech, it's a 6 everybody already knows, but I'm going to read through it anyway. You have Nursey on Medic, Habib on Demo, Blaze and Yamps on Soldier, and Banny and Eric on Scout. And we actually saw Eric putting up some pretty ridiculous numbers earlier this week. I believe he went 47 and 12 or something of that sort.
Whew.
In a match.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he's been doing some great stuff lately, really showing that this new brand of scouts we've had in these last few years have what it takes to really step up and have breakout performances.
Oh yeah, I mean the skill ceiling for Scout has just got to be so incredibly high, right? The fact that it's hit scan and the fact that you've got so much movement really just dominate the league, and I think we've seen that happen throughout TF2 for the last few years. Just Scouts really take off. So
Absolutely.
unsurprising, guys like Banny and Eric, my bad, have been so powerful in that class.
And over time there is one scout in particular that Eric has been compared to, especially after last season's grand finals, and that is Clockwork, known for putting up some pretty massive numbers. And I hope to see if Eric can carry that comparison well, because it's not one that should be taken lightly.
No, I remember back in the day, I used to always think Yomps was a very similar playstyle to Clockwork and didn't quite play it to the same level. Maybe if he had stuck with the class for a little bit longer, of course, way it worked out. Froyo picked him up as the Soldier class, so that's where he's going to be at for now. We probably won't see the Scout Yomps return for a while, but who knows? Sometimes he likes to bring it out in special matches.
I hope that we do get to see him return, because he was
nuts.
actually one of the most consistent scouts probably in the world at the time when he was cleaning up there. So as we're waiting for the final players to get into the server, I do just want to make a brief correction. Cornpop not having been in the game for a little bit, just reading off the team roster, we will have Yite on Scout as normal, and Bot Mode will be on Demo Man.
Okay, I'll blame TFTV. It's the wrong way there, but hey, that's the way it goes. Yite, you know what? I'm glad Yite's on Scout, because I remember he was always a Scout player, right? And then he swapped over to Demo Man for the first season it happened. Everybody was questioning it, why would Yite go over to Demo Man? I think their team just didn't have enough another player who wanted to play Demo. But when he originally went to Demo Man, he was actually pretty good on it. I thought he was a pretty solid Demo. Him on Scout's probably his better position. However, Bot Mode, I don't know, he's basically played everything, hasn't he, throughout the past few seasons?
Yeah, this is actually his second season on Demo Man. Last season, again, being with Ascent. And he had some great performances with Ascent. A lot of pressure there, being put into such a high-pressure situation, playing on a team like that, and being in a class that you really don't have any top invite experience in. But he delivered. He did what he needed to do, and he did really well.
I'm sure he would. I remember Botmo used to play a lot of Quake a while back. I think now he's back into the TF2 grind. Sure, he's playing pretty well, but of course, even when he's out of the scene, he's practicing, he's getting that aim on, and he's going to be all warmed up. And now that he's been playing for a couple of seasons, certainly, I think that he's going to be quite a powerful threat here in this Granary matchup.
Absolutely. And for those of you that were not around for last season, Ascent versus froyotech was the matchup that we had in the grand finals of season 30. So this is their first time meeting in the regular season of season 31 in the 4th week, and we're really excited to see what kind of stuff they can pull off, because finals last season weren't super close. However, Ascent has been doing some really incredible stuff, and I think that especially after staying together for a season, which is something that a lot of teams struggle with, they have a real potential to get some big damage going here.
Yeah, I mean, that's always going to be the story with froyotech, right? This roster has been so dominant, so powerful If you just take of it with like the team captain and the brand associated with this team, 100% the most dominant team TF2 has ever seen. So anytime they go into a match, you're going to be thinking, all right, who's going to be able to upset this version of froyotech? And I think Ascent have a good chance here. If anybody's going to do it, surely it should be the boys in blue. This team throughout the years has pretty much been that number 2 behind froyotech, especially more recently. So at least in North America. So I think any situation, in any meetup, maybe aside from a couple of weak Ascent rosters we've seen, but generally you think Ascent has a chance at beating froyotech, sometimes more often than others, or a higher probability than other times. But right now, I mean, this could be the one. Who knows? I don't know exactly the stat on me the last time that froyotech lost a matchup, but it's not very often that it happens.
I believe it was season 20 that they did not make the finals, if not first place. I'm not gonna, I think I'm supposed to remain kind of impartial in this. However, there's nothing that I want more than to see some good close games of TF2, and especially between the different level of competition. Oh, I'm being told that they lost to Froyo Black, but I wasn't following TF2 back then.
Oh, Froyo Black. Does that even count though? That's like the Froyo farm team.
You would be a better person to ask about that than me, cornpop.
Oh man, I don't know even if I remember that. I remember the Froyo Black roster. Like, that was a hype roster to come around. And I'm pretty sure that was correct back in season 29. Although I'm pretty sure I didn't cast season 29. So I was definitely still following it a little bit there. But either way, I mean, Froyo Black losing to that team, does it really count? It's the same brand. It's up to you to decide. Probably it does. But it's been a while. That's what we're trying to say here in froyotech. Usually it's been like when you go to LANs and stuff, the international stuff, usually the Europeans can bring it to them. But even recently, the past couple of LANs, I think the Euros have struggled a little bit in taking down froyotech. They've come very, very close. You talk about the guys over on 7 in particular. They've been putting up some good performances, but it's been a minute since the last couple big LANs that big European and North American teams have performed at. So yeah, that means it's been a minute since froyotech has lost a match.
Well, seeing as this is the final season of ESEA, if there's any time that froyotech was going to find themselves being contested, this is going to be the one, as we do have 12 in server, we do have teams going ready. Cornpop, who do you want to watch on this first mid?
Well, considering I didn't even realize he was on demo man with this starting off, I want to check out bot mode, see how his demo rollout goes out for Ascent. Hopefully he can get to the Grand Array mid in time. As he said, he's already got a season on this class, so I expect that he'll be pretty proficient in this rollout, but we'll take a look, see how much damage he can do. Of course, eyes are always going to be on demo man with the start of a mid fight, in particular on Grand Array, because their initial stickies are going to be so important.
Absolutely, and we are going to see bot mode rolling out into the garage area. Looks like he's going to be going up onto balcony, whereas Habib is also on balcony. They're going to be trading some important damage as the scouts are looking to aggress across these crates.
Ooh, up in the air, Blaze took a lot of damage. He's going to have to come on down now. Last thing on top of the light post, he's going to get the first frag on Nursey. That's the medic down. There's a couple more Froyo players who are also going to fall. So little HP. Blaze will collect a kill right before he gets finished off. There they go with the chase. Bot mode, a great pipe duel to shut him down. And that just leaves Eric still on the midpoint, covering so that Habib can make his retreat. Ascent are going to be the team to take the very first mid fight.
Yeah, we saw Laz and Jay get some fantastic aggression across this point. It's a little hard to clear this gap with how big the midpoint is, but they were able to pick off Nursey early and get a lot of important damage onto the froyotech combo.
Habib maybe a little bit over aggressive. He didn't die for it, so no harm, no foul. Goes down to about half HP, and he's going to just back on off. It's a little bit of damage to those stickies if he can get healed up, and they should be okay. froyotech looking to put a lot of pressure onto this, but of course they don't have that uber charge, so they probably aren't going to be able to hold it the whole time. Best case scenario, they can force out skis here and then keep Nursey alive. They've already built up to 50%. If they can stall for long enough, maybe this works for them, but it's going to be tough. A center coming around. They haven't started capping this point. They're just going to start it now. And froyotech have backed off, and here comes the last push. They're going to take this as aggressively as possible. 75% on Nursey. Blaze goes down immediately. They're starting to cap off this last point. There's not a whole lot that froyotech can do. They're going to get an easy kill on a Slemnish who was unflashed for just a moment. Oh, but Yite's coming in. He's starting to clean up a big bomb from Yomps. He needs to get these players off, and the uber charge has been popped by Nursey. Watch out for Jay. He's in the back lines, coming in a little bit early. froyotech clean up the stranglers.
Yeah, Ascent did a great job of pushing that lunchbox area, not actually going up into the upper balcony, but able to push froyotech out just through the awkward angle that they would have to aggress from. However, them backing out so quickly meant that Nursey had no issues holding onto that Uber, as Habib does go down, and this is going to trigger Ascent's push back in. We see scouts pushing across the point, and the heals are trying to get safely into this second point area. Cornpop, what do you see?
I see Laz really deep, but maybe a bit too deep. Banny comes around, trying to protect his scout duo, and he will be able to successfully do that. Eric stays alive. He's in a dangerous 1v1, but other than that, once Laz goes down, they lost Slemnish a little bit earlier on. They're going to have to back off, that being Ascent, and now Jay's found himself in a bit of a pickle. One rocket on a Nursing, not a whole lot else to get back. He's going to fall to his death right as his teammate Pop Ubercharge off. Shot of the air, that's Yite with a pistol. Funding it onto Yomps, and Eric also caught a pipe. That leaves Banny here now in a one-on-one with Yite, and Yite barely going to win that 3 HP. He's lucky to be alive versus 4G Grant Vincent. That leaves just the demo and medic here on second, and they're going to commit to this. They have an Ubercharge to try to use this. Yite's going to be the first one to go down, and another one, a good pipe by Habib. Again, one of the best demo men to ever play this game, pushing out of the shutter, and he's not going to get more than he can take. He's going to just back on off. Now that the push has come off, now the Ubercharge is over.
I just want to comment real quick on how fantastically both of these teams are managing their aggression. Froyo's last attempt to push out of second point, actually, the teammates getting a little bit ahead of Nursey as she struggled to get through this little S-bend area right outside of Lunchbox. Ascent were able to capitalize on that and re-aggress as the heals were separated from the players. And now we're going to see both teams just waiting out on some sort of sack. It looks like Laz is looking to go through this Lunchbox area to try and find maybe a medic or a demo man hanging out up top, as the rest of Ascent is able to get onto the second point with the use of their Uber. Nursey now has a 90% advantage to hold last with.
Oh, and this mug, they're going for it. Like Ascent are trying this. They want to kill Nursey before she gets it, but it doesn't happen. Counting a little bit off, they lose 3 players. Bot mode surely to be the 4th. Yes, there he goes. Yite trying to cover for Skis. There's no way he lives here. If he can get the demo man, that would be great. And he will actually get it. Staying for so long. Eric actually not hitting his shots. And finally, Yomps comes in to clean up the mess. But wow, great aggression coming out from Yite. Surely shouldn't have got anything in that situation, but pushes forward, finds the demo man. And Nursey went down to that engagement too.
Yeah, like you said, not only did Yite managed to pick off Habib, but he also did get the incredibly important pick on Nursey. And that's going to pioneer about a 40 to 50% advantage for Ascent that they can use to once again try and push into the second point and possibly into the last.
Yeah, you gotta think this is gonna be the round for Ascent. They have all the cards in their advantage. Banny's moving over the Engineer. That's a desperation pick. It might be a little bit too early. I mean, already 90% from Skis. Surely that Ascent can be able to get out, take down this gun before it can build up. However, they're taking their time with it. They want to regroup, make sure they're ready for it. It's going to be a bot mode Slemnish Ubercharge. And again, a level 1 gun easily going to be taken out from bot mode if he chooses to focus at Banny. Trying to commit to that gun for a little bit, but now they're going to start jumping onto the combo players. Laz, that flash goes off for a moment. They're really not getting a whole lot with this Ubercharge. Froyo were able to scatter. There's a lot of pressure put on that gun, but they didn't get it for so long. And now the close is going to collapse from both sides. 3 down from Ascent, 2 from Froyo. Jumping all over the place. Bot mode needs some HP. He's running around with the bottle, but he's not going to get anything. Laz all alone. He's not going to make it out alive, and Skis running for his life. That was a disaster. They didn't quite get what they were looking for. However, Nursey down, and Skis down too.
Laz actually getting the skill stick pick onto Nursey. Ooh. As Ascent pushed in with that Uber, they did a fantastic job of corralling 4G into this back right area by the spawn door in these silos. However, they weren't able to get the picks immediately, and more importantly, they weren't getting any time on point, which means that Ascent or 4G were able to get somewhat healed up, and they were able to start bombing soldiers over the top of these pipes area, starting to push forward and able to keep Ascent from getting comfortable on the last.
Banny, wow, look at that aggression. Just finds that Jay is all alone, reads that pick really, really well, and is able to get a free kill, makes it a 5-on-6. Yomps takes about half his HP trying to jump on in, but Banny's going to pick up Laz. Blaze immediately gets traded back, but that still puts numbers in favor of 4G. And in the back lines, Yite was trying to find something, didn't quite find what he's looking for, though. He's just going to get fragged, and now froyotech probably are going to take this mid-fight, or take this mid-point uncontested. You saw bot mode was in there, but he wasn't able to get any kills.
Yeah, kind of questioning what bot mode's plan was as he walked across mid alone, taking a 1v1 with Habib. It's going to mean that Ascent doesn't have any sort of area denial or high burst damage to try and deny 4G's push in here, as 4G is actually going to look to wrap around Ascent through Lunchbox. They're going into the upper area where we see Ascent is backing out of second, and they're going to be likely giving up. Did I miss something? 4G backed out, and they're re-rotating around towards the shutter proper, maybe around this Z room.
That's interesting by them. I guess they don't want to take it too aggressively. That's definitely a lot of respect being shown towards Ascent, and probably a good thing from them. I mean, Ascent had started off this match really strong here on Granary. You don't want to lose any ground for any reason, because that could just completely cause your doom. We see Blaze in flank and Lunchbox, and they're actually going to, looks like they're going to take this Ubercharge through the top floor. Perhaps they're pushing forward with Eric. He's the first one to get on in, taking a little bit of damage as he gets really aggressive, wants to force that Uber charge. He will be successful in doing so, but a couple of frags going down back and forth. 3 Froyo players fallen, but it wasn't even the pop from 4G. Nursey makes it out alive. Habib is there waiting for the person to drop down, and he will be able to catch him off guard. Means that they're not going to be able to force the medic. Great job by Froyo to be able to get that force. However, they get forced themselves, trying to keep their players alive, and that's going to be a return force from Ascent. Just as successful. They are only going to lose 2 players, though.
Yeah, we saw the players of froyotech doing a good job getting up into that upper area. However, Laz did a great job of playing these windows, and he was able to wrap all the way to drop down towards mid, and he was able to push 4G out as they returned to the midpoint, as it looks like they're now going to be trying to re-aggress with their full team. Sans Yomps, Laz just coming up now, bot mode on a 13-second respawn timer. You have to wonder if Ascent may just be giving this point up.
Yeah, I really don't like bot mode dying in that situation because the rest of the team, there's no way they're holding on to that in a million years. froyotech going to capitalize off this Demoman being down, a couple other players over on Ascent as well. Just poke in towards the last point. You don't have to hard commit to this, especially with Banny going down, blazing a lot of damage. They're going to make the call to back on off. I think that is the right call. If you lose Habib here, that's a mistake, and yeah, there he goes. That is not good. Nursey in the back lines as well. Jay with really good aggression, able to pick her off. So what looked like a really good idea, poor execution from froyotech.
Yeah, I have to applaud the aggression that we're seeing out of the Ascent soldiers, kind of making up for the questionable positioning coming out of bot mode here. The soldiers are really picking up the slack, and you see them making these great wrap plays, getting important picks onto froyotech, and stifling the pushes before they can snowball into something that, you know, can really cause problems.
Skis now finds himself with a 70% Uber charge advantage, and of course that will be dwindling. Nursey builds up her own Uber charge, but they're going to get as much ground as they can. A great sticky trap from Habib is going to put the numbers advantage in favor of froyotech, and just that small thing might make Ascent question this push into midpoint, or at least make it a lot more difficult. They don't want to have to pop the Uber charge off. Skis taking a couple of rockets from below. Yomps takes a lot of damage for that, though. He gets back towards his team. A couple of Ascent players have gone down, literally Laz in the midst of that. Now they just need to survive Banny, and Ascent should be okay to back off here alive. Of course, having to give up that point, not exactly the result they were looking for.
Yeah, and I have to say, outside of Slemnish getting picked off that trap, we saw bot mode once again kind of get desynchronized with the rest of his team as he does commit to the mid while everybody else seems to have backed out. They, all of Ascent, walked in to try and compensate for bot mode, but weren't able to save him, as we are going to see now 4G pushing into the second point, looking to take some space as Yomps does pick bot mode again, possibly getting a little too aggressive in his attempts to spam 4G out of this shutter. And now it's both scouts. They want to come in with that Uber. They're chomping at the bit, cornpop.
That they are. They have 100% on both sides, but of course that player advantage from froyotech might be enough for them to get aggressive. It looks like it is. Nursey's all the way in with her 2 scouts. The chariot Uber, perhaps, if they want to go that way. They're getting a little bit of time on point. They need to get Benny off. That's so much point time completely for free. That opens things up for Blaze to force onto Skis. A huge blitz by him, and Nursey's still holding on to her Uber charge. Blaze goes down, but does it really matter? Here's the Froyo Uber, and it's going to last so much longer. Immediately, Skis get taken out. Out of the air goes Habib, though, and this could be turning the tides of things. Still Slemnish, that full Uber charge. It's only Laz. There's no chance for him here. froyotech take the first round.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about that chariot Uber, double scout Uber coming in earlier. froyotech identified the value of that kind of push here in this last point. They sent in both their soldiers. They were kind of okay with them going down, okay with them getting very low, because it was the scouts who were being Ubered in to do all the work on this massive point. You saw them come in, you saw them bully Ascent around, and they were able to cap the point after Banny got a lot of cap time on it to start.
Be pretty hurt as coming into the second mid fight. Banny as well takes a projectile, and he's going to be the first one to go down, actually right after Habib. 2 Froyo players down immediately. They're getting some good aggressive plays though onto Skis, and so the medic going down just as important as all those other kills. You only lose your medic, or you just lose your medic. Nursey, actually the last player still alive on froyotech, and they're going for that hunt. Jay does not have a lot of HP. Nursey with that crossbow can be dangerous, and with a little bit of respect shown towards her, Jay's going to let her get away.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate that Jay was able to let her get away, but the geometry of Granary can make it very difficult to try and chase players like that, as you have these low ceilings, you have these tight corners, and you have little objects hanging out everywhere. It can be used to your advantage a lot when you're trying to take a fight, but when you're trying to chase a fight, it really causes a lot of clutter in your way.
So now we might see things start to slow down. However, with Uber charge for froyotech, I doubt they're going to let that happen. If they're counting Skis correctly, they should know they have about 40% to try to work with. Nursey right now just healing up Banny. It's not been a fast push in the middle, and so it's either going to be them miscounting this a little bit because Skis almost has it, or they're just not going to commit to this, and we'll see what it ends up being. Currently healing Habib, and they are going to pop it. Skis already has 100, so this might be a little bit poorly timed. It's going to be an even fight. Skis forced, but it's going to be a little bit better of an exchange for Ascent. They're going to catch Nursey out. Great job by them. They've only lost Jay so far. In the shutter, Blaze goes down. Banny goes down. There's 2 players still left alive, and what can they even do? Yomps in the backlines. Maybe we'll find bot mode. But otherwise, what was this all even for? Skis going down. That's the one silver lining for froyotech, sorry. But all in all, not a great fight.
Yeah, I agree that they may have miscounted their Uber advantage here, as we saw Habib getting flashed and trying to bomb across mid and getting met with a scout meat shot to the face. Going down immediately as Demoman is not a good plan when you're trying to push into a point, and it meant that Ascent were able to kind of keep their spot up on the high ground, and they were able to Uber at their own leisure and push Froyo back out. Now we're seeing them on their last, little bit of a familiar situation. We'll see if Ascent can figure out how to convert this last point.
Yomps going down a little bit earlier, a little bit late in that fight, excuse me, is pretty bad too. Slemnish caught off guard. This isn't a situation where you need to be losing 1 player, let alone 2. Laz goes down, and now this is all of a sudden a great opportunity for Froyotech. Blaze takes a bit of damage, but it doesn't matter. He's got a team behind him. Jay falls because of it, and there's only half the players still alive on Ascent. No Uber charges have been gained at this point, however, both medics are close. You have to get Skis out in this situation. You do not let him die. Do not let him pop. They're trying to get everybody out here if they possibly can. Yite's going to get taken out. But it's 100 from both sides, and Ascent are still alive.
And you know, this is kind of the Granary curse, as we see both scouts from Froyotech coming forward, trying to find these picks onto the players, as Skis manages to pop his Uber. However, we do see Habib and Banny and Yomps going down from 4G. Nursey just now using her Uber. It's not a bad position for Ascent if they can keep this choke locked down.
It's going to be tough, though. They only have 3 players still alive, so keeping that choke lockdown is pretty difficult. We see a nice bomb here coming in from Blaze. Gets 2 rockets onto Skis, however, not going to be enough to do anything really. And very scrappy fighting going on from both teams. You don't see the standard sort of push and pull the 5CP usually shows. There's just soldiers coming in, bombing all over the place. We haven't seen a single stalemate yet. Yomps will get shut down, and there's all of a sudden a mid fight going on here. Of course, the big pick going down, it's going to be Nursey. Jay has to die for that, but of course, all of these kills going in favor of Ascent. Otherwise, Banny falls. At least just Blaze and Eric, the 2 lone players, the 2 lone flank players, about to sandwich Ascent. If they can time this correctly, this could actually do a lot of damage.
So we, again, have Blaze and Eric kind of stuck in the back, as we see Laz trying to take this fight with Blaze, and he does come out the victor. Laz going down to Eric as he's trying to set up some sort of back cap, meeting Jay up on the balcony. I think this is just going to push him back. Ascent are going to need to be very careful with him, because he's not a player that you can take lightly. He's had a lot of great performances, and him winning a 1v1 would not be that surprising, as we are going to see Laz collapsing in on it now. And we're going to see if Ascent can push again with about a 50% Uber charge.
I kind of want them to wait for their players here. They have a really big Uber charge advantage. They are going to wait. They almost look like they wanted to go out. They almost died to a sticky trap, but they're okay. Now the push comes out. Again, a couple of their players are hurt, and last in the back lines, maybe not in the best position. Bot mode's actually being the first one to fall in the Super Charge exchange. Nursey almost at 80%, so she's not going to be able to pop this fight. And Ascent all just feeding in. They had no HP jumping into that, and I think that was just a little aggressive. It's a wipe. They got Nursey, though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they got so much cap time when bot mode was the first death this time. If he can slow down a little bit, if he can play with his team, I'd like to see Ascent go upper. Because giving them that high ground advantage gives them a little more time with their soldier bombs. It gives them the comfort. It gives them the opportunity to choose carefully where they're going to go. Whereas when you're coming in from one of these left or right sides, you have a lot of things in your way blocking you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even Uber charges again, and so this might finally be our first stalemate of the game. But man, oh man, has it been a fun match to watch so far. Only 1-0 on the scoreboard, but things have been so back and forth. Both teams just want to build up their Uber charge at this point in time, get to a position where they know that they can hold, and then once both teams have the Uber charge advantage, unless somebody's miscounting like last time, probably see some bombs come in, maybe some off classes.
Absolutely. We do have Ascent with the midpoint advantage here, and if you don't mind, as long as nothing's happening, I'm going to briefly talk about the what I like to think is the brilliance of Granary's designs. A lot of people don't like this map, but I think that considering it is a map with these massive areas that incredibly favor scouts here when they're trying to take these fights, combined with these very small closed-in areas that have the explosive classes showing much more of an advantage here. It's a map that really offers great strengths for both class class types with your hit scan and your projectile. I think it's something really cool where if you have a player who is performing out of his mind, you may have trouble based on different points depending on what class he plays.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's one thing that Granary Pro has really improved over the old version of Granary, which, of course, was a really big Demo Man map. It was very choky. Now it's been opened up a little bit more. I think scouts certainly are having a better time on this map than they were in the past. So, great job from the community to be able to open up this map a little bit, make it a bit better. There was a bit of a bomb that went down, and that was just get Slumnish over onto Sniper. He wasn't the one who bombed in, but now he's going to be able to change classes. Oh, and there it is! The body shot brings out a 4G Nurse. That's what you want.
Slamnish coming up clutch with the pick on the Nursey on Sniper, and there's nothing Granary Pro about that. That angle that he took has always been a very important one, and Nursey kind of forgot about that for a second. Let herself get the best of that as he managed to get the pick. Ascent's going to have a full advantage pushing in. Blaze going down to about 60. Nursey just spawning. And we're going to see if they can bully 4G out without having to give up any valuable resources.
Oh, Eric though in the back lines. He's right behind Skis, and he's going to get behind the medic, but the whole team turns around. Skis doesn't have to pop. That's huge. Great play by them. You hear more headshots ran out. Because of that, Ascent are able to ring down these kills. They will pop the recharge off eventually, and they're going to just run this into last. Everybody's falling to Sniper, rings down on a Blaze. Habib goes down. Yawns falls as well. It's only Nursey, and she's got no hope. It's a tie game.
And, that's just the Sniper pick snowballing. There's not a whole lot they could have done about it. Ascent did a really good job of playing their advantage. They did a really good job of not popping that Uber on second point. And you saw 4G possibly get a little overzealous in their attempts to try and make Skis pop. And it meant that a lot of them died, and it meant that they didn't really have anything to cap or to defend the last point proper. Now we're going to go into the third mid of this round. Habib taking a lot of early damage as you see both Ascent scouts trying to push across these crates here. What do you see, Cornpop?
See, double soldier bomb from froyotech works very well, opens things up, killing the demo man over on the side of Ascent. Now the counter aggression comes out, but again, they're down a couple of players. Banny very, very weak. If they can keep him alive with an arrow, that's exactly what they're going to do. 4G, they've got this in the bag. They'll clean up the first kill, and no hope. Skis hits his kill bind.
Absolutely, and I commented on the scouts sitting up on the crates for Ascent, but we actually saw some much better scout play coming out of froyotech as they were able to push into the meat of Ascent's combo. You saw them doing a lot of damage that soldiers were able to clean up on, and, Skis tried to get out, but he understood that it wasn't going to happen.
A valiant effort, and sometimes you just gotta know when to hit that bind. froyotech, however, this is probably the most dominant position they've been in all game. They're capping that second point, fully capped now. They had 100% Uber ad. Yite knows what's coming. He's swapped over to the engineer class, try to build up a gun. He probably does have time. He's at least got the level 2. Not likely to get anything higher than that. He'll retreat back in a spawn so that he can change classes as soon as that gun goes down or once it stops being effective. froyotech coming in for this right-hand side. They're really taking it slow. They, of course, don't have to worry about the enemy team getting their Uber charge 50%. Not going to be a huge deal. They're running into this gun, and Banny will be able to shut it down. There's nobody healing in the back lines. They're call collapsing out of the combo. Bomo and Skis. 2 players go down. Very important players. However, the fragging potential on Ascent still alive. Shot in the air. That's going to be the dumb man, but everybody goes down from froyotech. Nursey, the last player alive. We just go back and forth. It's these frag fests that Ascent keep winning.
Yeah, and particularly the Ascent soldiers managed to come up big, taking out the scouts, taking out the demo man of froyotech, and we saw them actually being the ones that were able to kind of clutch out this hold for Ascent.
With that hold, they're going to be able to easily push on to the second point. Their respawn's, of course, much, much closer than froyotech. So froyotech will come into the yard, and they're going to actually jump onto the flank. They're bringing a couple of players over here to have the numbers advantage in this little engagement. Jay's coming back on in, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a difference. Last falling is going to be the one kill that's important. Jay follows up by dying of his own, and now we see froyotech all over the Ascent players like flies. Blaze goes down. Banny and Nursey, things are turning around. Ascent have actually gotten 3 huge kills. Yite in the back lines. He'll trade, but is it really gonna matter? I don't think so. 85 from Skis and Ascent are in a great position. Coast to coast, they're gonna bring this back.
Did you see that surf, Cornpop?
I didn't actually. I missed it.
I believe it was Blaze that came in on Skis from behind, and Skis surfed up around one of these pillars in a circle. Landing back down. It was art in motion. We're going to see Ascent having engineered themselves a full Uber advantage, trying to find a way safely into this midpoint. froyotech holding pretty far back. I don't think they want to lose any players here if they can help it.
Shard shot rings out by Blaze, not really going to do a whole lot. Banny, oh, he gets blasted. Laz makes sure of that. He's looking for more. Habib a little bit on the retreat, but Laz is not hitting the shots from the second one. Takes a bit of damage, has to back on off. Thankfully, his team is cleaning up the flank over from froyotech. Anyways, not a huge deal. They find themselves 3 versus 6 and a midpoint cap for Ascent.
Yeah, and it was well done. Ascent still going to have the 40% Uber advantage, and it looks like, you know, with their spawns just now coming up on major classes, they're not going to attempt to have too tight of a hold, just committing Habib to this, and they actually managed to get the pick on the bot mode, trying to get a little overzealous in his attempt to shut out 4G. No time on the point, half time on the point. You don't have anyone capping it, as Ascent maybe tried to get a little too far forward with that Uber. They didn't want to use it then, and they tried to make something out of it, but it didn't go particularly well for them, as you now have Just Yite alive. Just Yite going down to Eric. 4G with 100% advantage, trying to push back into mid.
I love that engineer play by Banny. Like, you can talk about how he ran forward and got a shotgun kill, whatever. You could have done that with Scout. Being able to build that gun so aggressively, even if it was only a level 1, the fact that it was so close to the point means that when Ascent tried this, like, aggressive peek into the last point, they just poked forward, they were completely shut down. There was no opportunity for them to do anything when they came in, and then froyotech to capitalize off of that. Banny knows, alright, I don't need to run all the way back to change classes, I can just push forward. Engineer can still do just as good fragging potential, although it's a little bit slower. That's going to give froyotech the advantage to start pushing on into this midpoint.
Yeah, and they do have Slemnish on Sniper again. He was peeking from one garage to the other, but he's backing up. Ascent's not going to try too hard to hold this, and we're just going to see if Ascent can maybe get a cheeky entry frag as froyotech tries to see if they can use this advantage before they lose it.
Certainly would like to, but at this point I'm gonna have to say that they're not gonna be successful if they do so. At least they're not gonna be able to push with an advantage, and I think they know that. They clearly do not really feel like they want to leave this middle point. They're thinking, all right, they've got a sniper. Skis is probably around 100 at this point. We can sack somebody in perhaps, and that looks to be what the flank players are doing. Oh, Blaze, no hope. He gets domed over in garage, and because of that, that's going to be the aggression from froyotech. Laz goes in, dies himself. That's just a couple of players for a couple of players, but Habib falls, and that's a huge player because him going down opens things up for Ascent. Without a demo man, there's not going to be any traps. There's going to be a whole lot less pressure, and Jay's going to capitalize on that beautifully, taking down Banny. Now the Uber charge has to come out from Nursey, and it'll be a counter pop from Skis. However, it's going to be a little bit better, especially since it's a solo Uber onto Yite. He needs to go big here, get a couple of kills. Chasing the Devil Man does exactly what he has to. Nursey's going to be able to get out, but he's put the team in a great position to be able to take this middle point, get a couple more kills if they possibly can. A couple of the other players have fallen though, and this is actually turning a little bit back and forth, but it doesn't matter because Slemnish is here with the headshots. He does get clicked up by Habib. Oh man, there's so many frags going back and forth. Both medics, however, for the most part, staying alive.
Yeah, you saw Nursey do a great job of corralling her players back as Ascent tried to follow. They weren't able to capitalize on that. Ascent weren't, as Yite kind of didn't make much out of that Uber. However, you saw a crossbow kill out of Skis combined with a headshot onto Eric from Slemnish. They were able to almost salvage that fight. However, they decided it was in their best interest to back off and just give Froyo second for now. We have what looks like a Yite engineer, and we have Slemnish back on scout for this last point.
1 point is all that stands between froyotech and their second lead of the match. They've got quite a large supercharge advantage. I like the engineer pick again. We've seen both teams utilize this class quite a bit. It's going to be Jay moving on to the sniper now. Interesting position to put him over there as well. I guess they probably still want to scout alive to be able to stop this push, stop any bombers who might not be ubercharged if they try to get in onto Skis. So definitely not a bad pick. We'll see if Jay can hit as many shots as Slemnish was earlier on. It's going to be a bomb in by Habib, trying to get care of this gun. It is still level 3, hasn't been healed, but now they got Slemnish. He's pushing forward. He's doing a little bit of damage. Banny gets the gun, but otherwise nothing from froyotech in that ubercharge. He's so aggressive. Skis finally goes down. Great play by them. Eric thrown up into the air, misses the air shot, will be able to fall to his death thanks to Jay. A little bit of cap time going down, but all in all, great play by Ascent.
Yeah, we saw the players of 4G, specifically the soldiers, maybe overcommitting to that back corner area. We saw the Uber get stalled out hard by that level 3 sentry, but as the soldiers were bombing in their attempt to get Skis, you saw all of Ascent collapsed on them from every corner, and at that point you saw a bit of a lacking in mobility from froyotech, and they had to eventually back out. Nursey now being at an even Uber with Skis, but they're going to be able to at least hold on to this midpoint.
He's doing a great job of building right now, and my suspicions are correct. That's because he's on a crits creek. This is a really aggressive play, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Blaze hiding in the corner, does not find an arrow before the enemy team finds him. Blaze and Eric both going down is huge, because that's going to be not anything bad for Ascent, right? They now have 70%. They could build up the supercharge advantage. You can't have a player disadvantage when you get the supercharger, because you need to go immediately. However, maybe they don't even need the crits creep. Look at this, 4 kills and already Laz in onto Nursey. He doesn't need to really hit this shot, because again, Skis has pretty much already got a supercharge. Now Slemnish is in the back lines trying to finish up on that damage. Doesn't quite do it. Here comes the crit stickies. Will they land anywhere at all? No, it's the total cleanup from froyotech. They were so reliant on bot mode hitting those stickies, and he didn't hit anything that he needed to. Now we see Yite in like a 1v3. Very little opportunity for him in this situation. Eric will pistol him down. That leaves just Jay and the respawning players back on mid and second.
I couldn't even begin to hazard a guess as to what Ascent thought they needed to accomplish there, because if they pop the crits creep, then it's not as though they suddenly have Uber. They decided to just go for the 2 scouts with it, I suppose, and it meant that they didn't really have any sort of angle on Nursey, who was up to about 60% there, and if they, had waited another 10 or 20 seconds, she would have absolutely gotten that Uber. But at that point, in a small map like this, you kind of just need to go for it. So I'm not sure if using it there was the best idea, as Bandy does go down. Nursey goes down to about 10 health as she decides to pop out her Uber in this upper area with, I believe it is Yomd, and they're actually shaking down this fight pretty well. No, it looks like Ascent has an advantage here as they do kill Habib. Bot mode pushing forward aggressively into the shutter with Yite walking forward, trying to claim his free kill onto Yomps, available now. And it looks like they're going to hold on to this second point.
Talk about players who've been consistent throughout this whole match, but I think you got to talk about Laz. Forcing the Ubercharge on Nursey early in that last fight, so crucial for them to be able to pull it back later on. Now we see a really aggressive pop from Ski. They want to get aggressive on a Nursey, that's exactly what they'll do. Yite pistols her down. Slemnish gets traded, but it's a 1-for-1. You take a scout for a medic every single day of the week. We still got a couple of Froyo players, and it's the flank from Froyo. They want to get onto Skis, and this is very ripe for the picking if they can hit their shots. Bandy's in, but Skis is still at about half HP. A great pipe from bot mode, shuts down the bombing Yomps. Habib can't get it done. Wow, what a great denial from Ascent.
Yeah, Ascent did a fantastic job of keeping Skis protected through that 4-player sack there. You're talking about consistent players in the form of Laz. I want to talk about consistent players in the form of Yite, who's doing a fantastic job of taking that beam, taking that leash, and he is walking forward and he's putting out an incredible amount of damage onto froyotech, which is no easy feat.
Certainly not, and because of these consistent players over on the side of Ascent, they find themselves quite a sizable Ubercharge advantage. This is going to be a push from them into the last point, assuming nothing disastrous happens for them. There are a couple of aggressive Froyo players. Blaze in particular could go for a flank if the call gets made, but it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. 100% from Skis, they know they just need to sit back, do the best they can in this un-Ubered situation. The gun goes down immediately. That's really great efficiency from Ascent. Now they need to be able to clip a couple of kills. You see Eric, a little bit of damage, but he's playing up top. Wow, a great shot, and they're all on the point. That's going to be all it takes, and Ascent find their first lead.
So I'm looking at some stats here, Cornpop. You wanna take a guess at who our big fraggers are on each side?
Ooh, the big fraggers. Okay, I don't have the stats in front of me right now, so I could be wrong. I think Slemnish has been having a really great game. I think Laz has as well. I think Yite has for Ascent. I'm going to go ahead and say Laz because I was talking him up earlier on. And then for froyotech, before you give me the answer... Oh, I don't even know. Maybe like... Let's go Banny.
All right, well, your top frag... First of all, are we back live yet? Yeah, we are.
No.
Okay. The stream was down for a brief second. I just wanted to be sure before we went into any...
sorry about that. I don't really know what happened there, but we are back online.
All right, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that everybody on stream was here to hear my fantastic in-depth analysis of why froyotech is losing.
Perfect.
So our top fragger for Ascent is actually Yite at 28 and 17.
All right.
Like I said, he's been taking that heal beam really well, getting a lot of cap points. He's sticking with his medic, and the way that he's playing is paying dividends here. And our top fragger for froyotech is currently Yomps at 25 and 20. Yeah, he's been doing pretty well, and we've been seeing some pretty high damage numbers coming out of these players, considering how I don't want to call the game stalemate because it really hasn't been, but it has certainly been a little bit slower than what you might see on a different kind of map.
Yeah, 312 being done by Botmone, 312 damage done per minute. I think he really picked it up as that half moved on in Ascent, especially in that third round, because they were able to get it. I think there were some great plays, some really good stick usage, and some flashy air pipes as well coming out from him to be able to clean up on his team's damage, really get a lot of work done on Domain class. So I think bot mode maybe started a little bit slow in this map, but has really picked it up. I think he's been a great player from Ascent moving forward. Now, I mean, I keep saying, oh, he's a great player, but there really isn't a non-great player in the server, as you would hope when you're going up the top 2 teams from North America.
Absolutely, and I think that bot mode had some positioning issues early on, and I think that his positioning is still a little maybe overly aggressive in a lot of situations later on in the half, but I think that his DM is really impressing me, considering that, you know, I was there for their playoff run last season. I casted all of it, and I got to see how he was playing. He was doing pretty good, but he is hitting some wild pipes.
Oh yeah, and that's so impressive from a player, especially who's played like every class or every fragging class in the game, right? He used to play Soldier originally, and then he moved over to Scout, and now he's playing Demo Man. And I mean, the game knowledge should be there for all the same classes, right? I mean, that should be able to transfer pretty easily, but the mechanics are really quite different for all of those classes. And so to be able to be so good on all of them throughout your career, that really says something what the type of player bot mode is.
Absolutely. So what do you think that froyotech is looking for going into this second half?
Well, I think all in all, like, their holds have been pretty good. I think the calls that they're making on these holds have been really, really strong. I want to harken back to when Banny was on Engineer and played an aggressive play there. I thought that was a really good example of froyotech's hold, so I think that's fine. I think if they can come back in and start winning a couple of mid fights, you know, get themselves into these advantageous situations and start shutting down the stalemate advantage that Ascent has, because when they can put Slemnish on Sniper, that's another position where froyotech have been struggling a little bit, and Ascent have cleaned up some rounds because of it. So do a little bit better in the stalemates, get yourself into these advantage situations, and I think froyotech can certainly claw this back.
Absolutely. I think that if I would have to offer one piece of advice for froyotech, it's that I think they need to slow down a little bit, and I think they need to let Habib play the game that he wants to play, because from both sides, really, we're seeing this incredibly aggressive Uber demo bombs that are coming in, and it hasn't been working out well for either team. And, you know, maybe one of them is going to do it right, and we're just going to see all 6 players blow up, but it hasn't really happened right yet. So I have to question if it's really the right decision that they're making. I think if they can, you know, tank Habib, if they can let him put out some damage in a bit more of a consistent way, then we may see some pushes go a little more in their favor. But, you know, I'm not Banny. I don't know what their exact game plan is, so...
BILLDOZER not Banny. If you were, that would be very impressive, considering you're casting and playing in the same matchup, and also, you know, just double identity all these years. That would be quite something.
You can quote me on that. I'm not Banny.
But you know, if you were Banny, although if you were Banny, that would explain why he didn't pick you up on his team a couple of years ago, and you made that video. That's a throwback.
Can't pick up a player if you are that player.
Exactly.
Thinking man. We smart.
There you go. You know what? Bringing it back to the point you just made about Froyo playing a little bit passively. I know that still Nursey has fewer or pretty much the same amount of deaths as Skis, like 12 to 14, but both of those numbers are still really high. I think the medics on both sides, like their positioning, I don't want to say their positioning has been bad. I think mostly it's just been like the aggressive plays on both sides have been so good to be able to get so many medic kills, but it's a lot on both sides. And so if froyotech can maybe play a little bit more passively and then keep their medic alive, that might do good, because right now it's kind of 2 aggressive playstyles. There's a lot of bombs, a lot of scrappy fighting. Froyo slows it down. They play more like traditional TF2, right? They get back in sort of the ebb and flow of the game, sort of play it the way that we know they can play it really, really well. That might continue to help them. And I think slowing things down, as you mentioned, it's going to be a great way to put it into that situation.
Absolutely, cornpop. And I'm going to ask you to talk for another 10 seconds as I need to refill my cup. Oh, no, wait, are we starting?
We are starting. I can talk us through the mid-fight, though.
All right, that's fine. Just right there. Give me 2 seconds. Thank you, cornpop.
We're going to give Bill a couple of seconds to fill his cup. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're excited, because Ascent are up on currently the best team in the game, froyotech. They're now down 2-1 as we're here on Granary, Week 4 of ESEA Season 31, the last season of ESEA Invite, and the last season that TF2 will be featured in this league. Bot mode beats Habib to this mid-fight, and that's the common thing we've seen, not every round, but more often than not. Habib again taking a lot of damage in the first one to fall down. Bot mode, so much better than when he started this off. Blaze a little bit aggressive onto the medic, but didn't able to get anything. Shut down by Slemnish. The scouts, again, very good from Ascent as well. Eric taking so much damage. If anybody can clean them up, maybe a little bit misses focus fire from Ascent, letting him get out. It's a little bit of an oopsies. Yomps is still here, and he is not going to get out. Doesn't find anything either. Falls to his death, and wow, just everything going right from Ascent.
Yeah, thank you again for that, cornpop. I mentioned that, you know, froyotech might want to slow down and let Habib play in a more passive way, but I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is just how Habib wants to play. He seems to be playing really aggressively, and it seems like bot mode is playing in a similar way, but it seems like things aren't really going as well for Habib in this aggression, because the scouts for Ascent are really on top of him. So we do see Jay go down, I assume on the flank to Eric.
He was actually trying to get on into that second point. That's a really difficult point to try to get in. Laz dying is bad, but since he got a kill, it's fine. You're still only at a one-player disadvantage. We'll see if froyotech can get aggressive. It looks like Ascent are willing to pop the recharge to fight for this. I don't know if I agree with that 100% because they're going to lose 2 players. Really big plays coming up from 4G. They have all of their Uber charge left alive, and oh yeah, this is a position.
Yeah, I need to point out that they didn't really lose 2 players. Bot mode dropped about 100 sticks trying to kill Banny or Eric. It was Eric as he got forward, and then he got unflashed on the Uber charge and killed himself in his attempts to pick off a scout. So, you know, good intentions out of bot mode, but the execution was a little bit sus.
Well, I guess that's the way it happens sometimes. The way she goes, we'll forget about it. Move on. froyotech, again, still have the supercharge advantage. Slemnish was way in the back lines, trying to take a 1v1 with Banny. No chance he was winning that one. He did not have a lot of HP. Blaze going down. A really long-range rocket from Jay. That could be big. That opens things up for Laz. Really doesn't find anything for it. He gets shut down really early. Now Jay's going to get even more aggressive, though, and it's going to be worth it. Nursey falls to the arrow of skis. Wow. There we go. Nursey shows a little bit of respect in chat. Yom's taking a bit of damage too. He's going to get shut down. No chance that he's going to be able to get anything for it. So, big medic on medic action coming out on the middle point of Granary.
Yeah, we saw some great spam coming out of Ascent as froyotech found themselves unable to get through this garage area. A lot of damage, and then Ascent just started throwing soldiers at that doorway, and it was able to work out incredibly well for them. As you said, they got a lot of damage onto the combo, and eventually Skis did get that magical arrow to drop Nursey. We're going to see Ascent now with about a 70% Uber ad, trying to take second point and hopefully take a third round.
froyotech are having a very strong grip on the second point, despite being at such a large Ubercharge disadvantage. Ascent really needs to get in. They'd like to do it sooner rather than later. It looks like they're starting to muscle their way forward. Now they're going to have to pop the Ubercharge, though. So much spam on the skis. That's great from froyotech, because what's the super going to accomplish? Nothing. They cap the points. They can't get any kills. Froyo are so far back, and that's exactly what you got to be doing when somebody's trying to bully their way into your second point.
Yeah, Froyo got everybody out, so they're not even going to lose any players, which is a real problem in the first half. And they're going to see themselves with, you know, Uber's completely leapfrogged. About a 70% ad coming up for Froyo as they look to push with both soldiers up top. Banny going down early, Laz going down as well, and we're going to see them trying to push from this upper area. A little slow to do so, but we are going to see Ascent backing out of the second point now, giving up this point for the time being.
Yeah, you lose 2, you get 1, you back off. Not a bad situation to be in at all. Certainly the right call. If you lose any more than that, you're in trouble. You're looking a little bit questionable, questioning that hold. Now they're back over the middle point, and hopefully they won't get caught off guard here. Skis is still a little bit aggressive. If froyotech gone for maybe a wrap, they could have maybe caught him off guard, but there were people watching that flank, so hopefully that call would have been made. Now they both have 100%. I think froyotech are going to look a little bit better. They take control of the yard, and so they're going to be totally fine just to chill out here. But again, this is often where we see Slemnish swap over to the sniper.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, cornpop. We're probably going to see a sec coming out of Ascent here, as we do see Laz going in, trying to find some sweet succulent rockets onto that medic. However, I think what we're likely going to see here is Blaze going down as well. That's the counter set coming out. As I was saying, what we're going to see is likely Laz coming up, Slemnish going back to that spawn, as we do see him running back and swapping off to Sniper. We're going to see him playing that ramp area, maybe getting another pick on Nursey, but I have to imagine that Nursey has learned her lesson.
You would hope so. I mean, of course, the call to sniper being pulled out hasn't been made necessarily. I haven't seen the sniper, but it should be fairly obvious that this is going to happen. A scout from Ascent gets in behind, and of course, there's only one scout on their roster right now, and it's Yite. froyotech saw him get back there, but they weren't able to kill him, so now they're worried about that. Nursey hiding behind these crates. She knows she doesn't want to step into that sight line. Smart by her. You don't make that mistake twice. But again, they're now worried about 2 things. Slemnish from in front of you, and then also Yite from behind. It's a tough spot, especially with Habib getting headshot. That is not the position. Ubercharge are going to get traded, and without a demo man, this is certainly going to favor Ascent, since they do have a demo man. Now they'll push forward, and a couple of kills now tilt this back in favor of froyotech. It's hard to protect your sniper when he's playing that class. He doesn't have a whole lot of short-range options. Laz tries to jump in, doesn't really find anything. Now it's Banny who's in the back lines, and the 3 players left alive on a center are about to get sandwiched.
Yeah, absolutely. And Banny is looking to take this balcony. He drops right on the skis, manages to take him out with 3 clean shots. Bot mode forces him out, and now suddenly it's just him, and it's just Yite trying to hold this area. Slemnish back on scout. And we're going to see if froyotech has any way to push in there. We did get both medics dying in that push, and they both spawned, going to be about even Ubers.
It was a really great timed bomb from Jay. He read the situation so perfectly, said, all right, my medic's probably going to die here. We're not in a great situation, but this is the perfect time for me to bomb Nursey. Read that really, really well, able to get the frag, followed it up by hitting his shots, of course. So, brilliant job by him. Now it's all evened up in froyotech. They seem like they like this even situation, and that's pretty much the play. Blaze gets air shot, but it doesn't matter because he's already killed the demo man. He's going to stay alive, at least for a little bit. Slemnish cleans up on that damage, but surely he will go down here, taking a lot of his own. Yes, he will. A couple of frags going back and forth. We were talking about Jay, how he was a really big brain player in that last fight. Well, he's going to be the only player who's still able to shoot his gun in this fight. He backs off with the medic, trying to just get out alive here with 4 players. If froyotech can get the medic, this is going to be so huge for them, but Jay really just protecting him well. Eric gets the kill from behind, though, and now Skis almost in time for the respawns, but it's not going to happen. Here comes the bombing in Demo Man bot mode very far forward. Now you're fighting Ubered players. That's not going to be a fight that favors you very, very often. Laz from up above, he goes down. Slemnish, no hope. There's the cap. froyotech tie the game.
Yeah, and they did a great job of playing that dry push, playing the yard area of Granary second, completely able to pretty much ignore those choke points that caused a lot of problems for Ascent in previous rounds, able to get a lot of picks, trying to push across this second point building. You know, they were able to just sort of walk forward and keep playing their advantages before Ascent could really get a foothold on what they needed to do moving forward.
Mid-fight number 5 about to take away as we see some Ascent soldiers jump in the air. At the same time, Froyo do as well. Banny takes a lot of damage.
Wow.
He's not the first one, he's the third one. A couple of kills going down both sides. Rockets flaring out from everybody's rocket launcher. Puts us into a 4-on-4. The Demo Man going down from Ascent, maybe a little bit bigger of a situation, but they have the positional advantage, and they use that to win a 1v1 scout fight. Slemnish over onto Yomps because of that fight. Froyotech have to back off.
I saw Jay hitting some god rockets there onto the froyotech scouts, getting some easy kills on that mid-fight that was ultimately able to deny them from being able to take the positioning that they wanted and try and even make anything on this mid happen. Ascent played it really well, and we're going to see them trying to push in here. Gee, I wonder what they're going to do, cornpop.
Well,
I couldn't imagine.
maybe it's going to be a spy. You think it's going to be maybe a pyro? You think
I think we're going to have
here?
Yite swap to heavy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps.
the garage heavy.
Oh, no, you know what? It's the Slemnish sniper. Wouldn't
Oh
have thought that. Nah. He takes
Imagine
the
my
first shot.
shock.
Yeah, he pushes forward. It's not a very unique strategy or
If
a
it
very
ain't broke,
variant
don't
strategy.
fix it, man.
Hey, yeah, no,
he's
it's
been
working.
putting up numbers, as we do see
Exactly.
froyotech actually pushing forward aggressively with the Uber, and they actually do pick off Slemnish. However, you see that Skis has not popped yet. It was a good idea, it was a valiant effort, but you have to wonder if it's really going to get them the result that they were looking for. As you do have Skis popping now.
All right,
as
they got
I
it.
imagine Blaze is going to go down. Both scouts from froyotech trapped in on mid as well, but I think they've been able to isolate their targets very well, and it might not go too well for them. Depends on if they can get Habib here, although both he and Nursey are backing out of choke.
Yeah, that was an interesting fight because obviously they wanted to pop forward and get the exchange as fast as possible because they have that sniper in the enemy team. They got the sniper, but they didn't get a whole lot else. Eventually, with the straggling players, they were able to do it. But now they've lost a couple of guys here. They're going to get the respawn, so last point is not in any real danger. And Nursey gets out by the skin of her teeth. Not a whole lot of HP on
Habib's
her.
not up
Ascent
yet.
really want to get in. Yes, he is still down, and so they're going to get on this point. A little bit of cap time before it's like they can capitalize off this aggression with that. A whole lot of players on Ascent are going to fall, and now the medic will get out, running away with Slemnish, running away with bot mode. That should be enough to get them out here, especially with Benny down into a sticky trap. I don't know if they need to get that aggressive.
I liked it. I liked the effort. You know, they like I said, you still saw about a 10-second respawn on Habib. They almost got it. I think that maybe if they had bot mode a little more in with them in that fight, you saw him playing in that upper area. However, Ascent is going to be making an attempt to spam out these doorways. The froyotech's going to be trying to come through. Ascent's been doing a fantastic job of denying them of these pushes lately, as we do see Blaze go down on the flank, and we have a counter sec maybe coming from Lance? No, nothing just yet. It looks like they may be trying to make something happen here. You see players pushing into the yard area. You see Slemnish looking for some frags. What do you see going on, cornpop?
Oh, we see somebody in the back line. Slemnish just gets him behind Yomps. Laz's gonna die because of that, but now here comes the bomb in, and Nursey will have to pop off for Ubercharge. It's actually turned itself into an exchange. We've got a fight here, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna push forward into froyotech's second point. This is gonna give them a little bit of positional advantage. Eric needs to back off, doesn't want to fight Yite. Despite the fact he's seen a little bit more damage, they're gonna concede this point. The call was made for froyotech. They don't have the numbers. Don't fight this. Oh, wow, great trade action from Eric to be able to take down Jay. Loses it, of course. That is not gonna favor him ever. Now still the aggression does not stop from Ascent. They're making their way in.
Oh
what a
God,
fight from
bot
Bobo.
mode.
Takes down Banny, gets traded for it, gets punished, but it doesn't really matter at this point in time. He's very, very lit. They need Laz to go big if they want to make this happen, but they think better of it. They're going to back on off. If Skis makes it out here, which he should, then this is just going to be a reset.
Yeah, you know, you saw both scouts running in on froyotech. Froyotech being unable to do anything about it as they're trying to find some frags on the fatter classes. You saw, I believe it was Yomps going down first, Habib going down, Benny went down in that fight in the courtyard, and you know, it didn't work out for him at the end as the spawns were just coming up as Ascent wanted to push in. However, we're going to find ourselves back on this familiar second hold. However, we have Ascent trying to build this Uber, holding back a little bit farther than they're normally doing it, but they're comfortable with their position. They're going to try and move forward into this garage. And, I don't know, maybe they're going to run a roamer bomb or something.
Perhaps. I wonder if Laz is going to bomb in, and then Slemish is going to run back to the spawn, and then he's going to change to Sniper. That's my bold prediction.
Well, you know, he's really been doing a good job clicking some heads this game, so I really can't rag on them for wanting to stick with what works.
No, certainly not. But at some point, froyotech's got to get wise to it, right? I mean, they've tried a couple different things to counter the sniper. I think even last time when he died in the initial Uber charge, I don't even think that was a bad play because froyotech, what did they get out of that? They got a sniper kill and then nothing for a long time. Jay hears a bit of damage on the demo man, and he's going to take that as an opportunity to push forward. Doesn't quite find it. He did a good job backing off, but he almost had it in that situation. Now it's going to be on froyotech to try to get some sort of a counter bomb. But again, since they have to play so passively because Habib took so much damage, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and you see a soldier go down for Ascent. He spawns on Spy.
Ooh,
the Jae Hyun Tae Spy coming out. Not something that was that the tablet foretold, as we have him looking to find a safe way in. We see Eric kind of doing a so-so job watching this right choke. He may have himself an opening here, as he does. Oh my God, Eric knew about him immediately hearing the sound. However, he took no damage, or he was buffed at least, and I have to wonder if he may just be going back or if he's looking for another way in.
Wow. Hey, he's gonna get it.
Oh my God,
in the
Jay.
midst of things. Whatever, it works. Yomps goes down, a beat falls as well. Now here comes the froyotech Uber charge. That Spy's still in the back lines. They're worried about it. They know that he's back here, but do they really care? That's the situation that we're looking at here. Both medics popped the Uber charge off. A couple of frags went down, and they did seem to favor Ascent, but remember, they've got the Spy, and man, those scouts are looking for it. He did his best. Give him that. Now it's going to be two scouts and a medic here for froyotech. The first one goes down. It's Bandy, but Eric is here doing work now. Can bot mode hit these pipes? That is the question. It's going to be so tough. He's going to have to hit at least two. Laz jumps on forward as well. He's got the support, and because of these two explosive classes, Eric decides, I'm going to back off. I'm going to get my medic out towards our other teammates, and we'll give up a point for now.
The fat classes from Ascent being able to put out a lot of pressures. Laz does go down up in that balcony area, forcing them to possibly back off of that high ground. Looks like we have Yomps trying to get some positioning on these crates. They may find themselves pushing Ascent back out through this garage. He actually does go down, and it's froyotech backing up through the garage. Both scouts chomping at the bit here, looking to move forward. And Ascent does have a 30% ad for what it's worth.
Yikes.
Habib?
They just let Yite walk on in. Like, nobody even sees him, and he's already on the combo. That's why Habib ended up going down there. He did fall in because Jay went down as well. This turned a bit into a fight. Exactly. See, Habib's just questioning why he was able to get in there. Now we see a couple of players going down. Double man going down, of course, from Habib. Eric falls here. Laz able to hit a rock on him. Banny's still now the last player alive.
Meat grinder.
Yeah, they're going to pop their Uber charge off, but they're only going to get summoned for it. All of Ascent recognized that Uber was going to get used, and they immediately backed off.
Yeah, and no, everything there does just kind of boil down to Yite just kind of running forward and getting a free frag onto Habib there. I wonder if he had if it was a lucky timing, if he'd taken his eyes off a trap for a second like that. But, you know, it almost worked out for Ascent, and we are going to have to continue this, one of the most epic of stalemates that we're seeing here.
Oh, it wouldn't be Granary without a couple of stalemates, would it? That's what you sign up for.
I'm enjoying these stalemates. These are the good kinds.
They've been good, exactly. These are the good kind of stalemates. We don't always have the good kind of stalemates, but these are the good ones. Laz dies to a sticky trap, and likely just trying to get on in there. Doesn't quite happen for him. That's going to, again, put things back in favor of froyotech, and they find Jay. Ooh, this is a 2-man ad. Now froyotech can actually do something. They're going to run their scout in. That's Banny. He gets shut down immediately. Great job by Slumnish to be able to hit that shot and shut down the scout who's getting forward. Now that even uber charge, even player count for froyotech, probably going to stop with the aggression? Nope, Blaze doesn't care about that. He jumps forward so high up in the air, shut down by, again, the scout. So consistent for Ascent.
I was going to say, this is how Ascent gets you. They sack both soldiers, and you don't know if they're going to come up sniper or spy. But we do see them both coming back up on soldier, possibly looking to skis, dropping to the Habib pipe. Good lord. We see Sax immediately coming out, trying to get that Uber out of Froyo. Nursey does manage to pop near that shutter, and we're going to see Ascent backing off there. I didn't actually see exactly what happened, but, you know, I assume it was just Habib hitting some lucky pipes maybe through that window on balcony or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit the explosive classes, you get the drop on a skis, and I was gonna say that could be a game-losing drop, especially in a contest so close like this one. But because they really get the force out, I think it's fine. It's not the end of the world that you drop there. It's not gonna look good on the stat sheet, but hey, what are you gonna do about it? That happens sometimes. You eat an unlucky pipe. Way she goes. Yite's going to be the next player to come out, try his hand on Sniper, the third player on this team who's trying out the class. And so we'll see if he's going to be lucky enough to hit a couple of shots. He's actually going to back spawn. He was just sitting in the forward spawn. Go for something aggressive. Nobody else can really do that in that situation. So doesn't do anything. He backs off. No worries.
Absolutely. So now we're going to see Ascent looking to hold this. The neutral game is pretty strong out of Froyo here. They're just playing footsies with Ascent. Ascent just coming up now, back on their Uber. Nursey still has hers. Laz is down currently. I don't think that's really enough to try and push in on, but Froyo's certainly going to give it their damnedest as we see Habib trying to put some spam up onto these upper areas. We see, I believe that's Banny pushing in aggressively towards the spawn door, and I think that Blaze does go down, and that's just going to push Froyo back out. Eric going down, lots of damage coming out onto the combo. It was a valiant attempt out of Froyo. They were trying to see what they could get away with, and Ascent said nothing.
I think 2 might have been too many to lose in that situation. I don't like how aggressive froyotech stayed after their soldier went down. They're going to take this fight anyways, despite being at a player disadvantage. Yomps is just running out with a melee weapon, and of course he's not going to be able to collect any frags. Everybody is shiny in this engagement. Slumnish is going to be the first one to go down, however, in this fight, and Yomps follows him up, makes it a 5-on-5. froyotech now looking towards this left shutter, and they're going to start to move back in onto this last point. It's going to be big. They hit their shots in the situation. This could be a round for him. However, Banny eats a big sticky. Here comes a bomb in by Jay as well. So low on HP and eats a pipe from Habib. Habib on very little HP. Needs to start hitting more shots than just what he's been hitting. Gotta go incredible in a situation like this, and I think he knows that that is not his destiny. Has to back off with Nursey. Meet up with Yomps. Won't live to tell the tale. Thankfully, Nursey has somebody to bring her out and safely back to mid.
Yeah, and that was really well managed by Ascent there, as they were able to spread themselves out, make Habib's job a lot harder as he's trying to find focused locations to put out damage. As we do see Banny going down, trading out with Yite, and we suddenly have Nursey by herself, backing out of the choke point, and we're going to see Ascent maybe looking to get a push here. They have about a 15% advantage, not really enough to worry about. It's the 2-player advantage they have with Yomps and Banny still being dead that they can play off of.
And just as that player advantage is going to run out, what does Blaze do? He just runs in the garage and dies. Great sticky trap, however, drop skis. Oh, that's exactly what you needed to happen. Here comes the pop from Nursey.
Skis.
Oh man, that is that's not what you want to see happen here for Ascent. We'll see a couple more players die on this bomb, or on this mid-site, excuse me. Nursey goes down to Yite though, chases down that frag and makes sure that that drop is all for naught. So 2 drops from skis, but both times team has covered for him. So that's really huge for Ascent. They're still alive because of the aggression that comes out from their aggressive players after the medic dies.
Yeah, and bot mode did manage to kill both Eric and Banny, showing himself to have some level of supreme DM in this match. The way that he's been going off has certainly impressed me, as we're going to see players trying to aggress back out, Banny jumping up onto these crates areas, froyotech being able to get comfortably back into mid, as Ascent are just going to be hanging out in this courtyard area.
think the last maybe 5 minutes have really exemplified what you were talking about at the half. I think froyotech, especially when we go back to that last push. I know we're retreating him a little bit, but we're at a bit of a stop. So you go back to that last push, and like, why did froyotech need to lose 2 players there? It's just so needlessly aggressive, and if you pull that back, if you rein things into more standard TF2, yeah, you put yourself in a stalemate, but at least you don't put yourself in a disadvantage where now you're going to a situation where you're just going to get pushed out of mid or out of second, have to take a scrappy fight, and statistically you're going to lose that. So now they're sitting here on mid, not a place they're unfamiliar with, certainly. However, you can go back to a couple of plays, I think, in this matchup, especially if you're froyotech. You're banning after this matchup, you go through the VOD. I think there's some plays that I think there's some calls that you're probably going to re-question.
Oh, I'm trying to see what Metagun Nursey has, but I can't. The Metagun is invisible on my screen. Looks like she's getting kind of aggressive with Vive, though, so I'm wondering if they might have a crits.
It's invisible on mine as well. I don't know.
Oh, this is incredible.
It's supercharged.
All right, it is just regular old supercharge. I want to say real quick, we are down to sub 9 minutes in this match, so you know, it's still tied 2-2, so you only need 1 round to win this. But you may see players want to start making things happen sooner rather than later, as Nursey does pop off of a fantastic bomb from Laz, herself going down to about 20 health or so there, getting the health pack, and we have Ascent actually body blocking Habib into this mid fight, and they're just going to be bull rushing forward now as they've found their opening. They've gotten a lot of damage onto, example, Eric. He goes down without an issue. Yance actually manages to pick off skis along with Blaze. However, the damage has been done. You may see Ascent attempting to push forward regardless of their heal advantage.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that was actually a position where you're fine losing your medic, right? Because you're so aggressive, you've gotten so many kills. They're already on this last point. Nursey needs to stop this. As you mentioned, it's a 2-2 game, not a lot of time.
Oh my god,
no hope there.
Ascent. So,
that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was fantastically done. They did a really good job. Jay tried to rugged drum forward into the last point, and he messed it up. And he just sort of, he had to waddle in the last point at about 10 health. However, I have to give massive props to Ascent for being able to convert that fight into an actual successful point win. We are going to have a mid-fight here. Who do you want to watch, cornpop?
Well, I see Habib's taking a lot of damage. Again, this has been a common theme, so we'll see if he stays alive for a little bit longer in this mid-fight. He healed up, and now he's back down to a little bit low. We see Blaze the big bomb and gets totally punished. Very passive bid from Ascent. They know they don't really need to get any more rounds. They can just hold on to this, and they'll be totally fine. Now they start getting aggressive. Now they start dying. It's gone back and forth. However, Laz going to be able to trade, makes it a 2-on-3. The players from froyotech really need to be able to get their medic out. Nursey's dragging along. She wants to keep Habib alive. Was that the right call, though? Oh, Habib on just the skin of his teeth. He's going to hit a crucial pipe on a Yite, stay alive, and actually push back into mid.
Oh, Habib coming in with an aggressive bomb onto the crate, being pushed back out. We're going to see Nursey actually go down to about half health, and you may see actually Ascent may start backing out here as bomb mode does go down. Spawns are going to be a little bit longer before they come in for Ascent, but it looks like froyotech are just giving up this mid-fight completely. So we have 6.5 minutes left on the map, and Ascent with 1 point advantage with the midpoint also.
Oh yes, now froyotech needs to start worrying about that clock. It's not often in a North American TF2 match that you see it go to time. Usually you'll reach that five rounds mark. However, in this game, certainly I think that's where we're headed, unless Ascent can just start racking up these rounds. And who knows, I mean, this situation...
He's at 100% ad.
Yeah, this is a position where they could start racking up rounds.
Yeah, so we are going to see, it looks like they want to come in through this left road, kind of similar to what froyotech was doing a few pushes ago, but it looks like they're being really careful about this. They still have about a 60% ad. Laz goes down. That's okay. They got time to wait for him to come up. They can give, actually, froyotech just ran in with the Uber. That's okay. Make sure you kill Nursey, and this is going to be no problem. Nursey does go down. We have Vanny's Sentry go down. Bot mode does go down. However, Eric is down, Yams is down, Blaze is down, and we are going to see that this round is more than likely going to be converted for Ascent, advancing their lead to 4-2.
That's it. I mean, that's the classic push. There's a little bit of wrench in your plan, right? When Eric flanks and he wins the 1v with a scout 1v1, and now you're at a player disadvantage. However, I think that fight still will favor you statistically. So you take it. You gotta hit your shots. You hit your shots. You're up 4-2, 5:15 remaining in the half, and Ascent. Just as I was saying, this is probably going to time. They're looking to lock this down by score. I think the way that they have been playing has been so phenomenal the past couple of rounds.
However, there is still time for Froyo to get another 2 rounds. Granary is a large map that the rounds can go pretty quickly, as we did just see. And it looks like 4G is going to have an advantage on this midpoint. They're going to be able to cap it without too much of an issue, as Ascent didn't lose anybody. but they are just going to want to hold this courtyard area.
They conceded it. They didn't even fight for mid. They popped in, they got Yite behind, and they said, never mind, we're not fighting this. So it's really passive play by Ascent. And you could say, oh, you know, they're just trying to stalemate out the game. But hey, man, that's the play, is it not?
When you got 2 rounds up over froyotech, I would, you know, there's a lot of things I'd do to keep that kind of lead.
Oh boy, now it's all on 4G to try to break this stalemate as quickly as possible and convert. You'd usually go for a sack here, but they don't have time, so they're just going to take the even fight. This is so dangerous. You've got Eric in the back line trying to fight with Yite. Blaze can come in as well, but that means your combo's a little bit weaker. Banny goes down to some stickies. They'll trade it back around, and this looks like it's just going to be a trade again. It's all on Yomps. He needs to go big, and he's just not really in position to do so. Jay taking a lot of damage, getting collapsed on. That could create an opening. However, dying in the back line still... Oh, no, never mind. Yomps still alive here, so Ascent... lose a couple of players. They're going to choose to, again, play this really conservatively, back on off. Slemnish gets the kill in the back lines finally onto Yomp, so that's no longer going to be a threat. However, you're just slowly losing ground if you're over on the side of Ascent.
And you know what? It's kind of okay if they're slowly losing ground, because that's a whole lot better than quickly losing ground. As long as they can slow down the game, as long as they can keep Froyo from capping this point for as long as possible, then if they can get this down to about 2 minutes, then the chances of froyotech, the chances of froyotech capping this point drastically go down.
Yes, and now they're in on Laz, and this could be a disaster. However, a big rocket from Yomp shuts down Laz, who is going to force out the supercharge. It gets popped anyways, and this is another round for froyotech. Unless these respawners comes in, Slemnish can't block, and that makes it all that closer to a tie game. And I think froyotech, they did a really good job of countering the passive play from Ascent in that round, because they just kept on pushing. And yeah, it's better than quickly losing 8 rounds, but 247, 1 round. Oh, this is so doable for Froyo.
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes on the clock. At this point, I would suggest Ascent do the same thing they did before, but bring up like a heavy and an engineer and just sit in courtyard or something. It's stupid, but you know, you can't deny the holding power of that kind of comp.
I suppose it looks like Froyo owners are going to get as aggressive as possible. They want to make something happen in this mid-fight, and certainly there will be frags from both sides. Both medics still alive, and it's a 3-on-3. Here we go. A couple of players. Laz, just great bomb. Now pressure on Nursey. This is dangerous. She's so low, and there's the rockets coming out from Laz. A great mid-fight and a wipe from Froyo. You got to think that's the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that froyotech can't keep them from getting that 5th round. However, you know, saying that with 2 minutes left, you know, you're going to need to see some real god plays coming out from the soldiers of froyotech specifically on this second point and on the last point if you want to see kind of, you know, some way to get them back in this game to tie it up, because it is still doable. Once you get to about a minute, you got to start wondering if it is. But if they push in right now and they start getting a lot of big frags, then it's absolutely still doable.
If Ascent don't just drop the ball completely, though, this should be their match. I mean, they just need to not collapse. Blaze is going to try to make them collapse. He'll do a 1-for-1 trade with bot mode. That's good. That's fine. Banny with the back cap, and you've got to deal with that. There are a lot of curveballs being thrown at Ascent right now, but they're bringing people back. They're bringing this responsibly. They're not going to try to aggressively get this 5th point. They know they just got to play time. They'll force Banny off the point. Now it's going to be a midpoint fight. Laz going down is a little bit worrying, and you're going to have to use that overcharge. Not even 100 on Nursey, so if you get the kill on her, that'd be huge, but they of course aren't going to notice that she's only at 95, and now she's going to have that 100%. Oh, Skis is going to go down. Oh, froyotech. Okay, here's the fight that they wanted. Now they have advantage. Now they have 5 players alive, capping that middle point. Time again, though, is working against them.
Yeah, they're down to 55 seconds here, and this is going to be a little bit of a clencher as they're taking this right yard choke to try and get into second. We're going to see what kind of defense Ascent wants to set up. It seems like it's going to be limited just to some bot mode traps, and they're going to worry more about the last point, as froyotech is going to have time for one. They're going to have time for one last point. Yite coming up on the engineer. That's the extent of the off classes that we see going forward. Eric's going to be respawning in 5 seconds, and we have a... Nope.
No, he went for the flank, but it didn't quite find it.
Jay might go down too. Jay's not down yet.
Oh,
he
no.
tried to rocket jump. Oh my god.
This is a 6-on-4.
Skis missed the arrow, and he tried to rocket jump. We're down to 15 seconds. Uber's on the point. We have fresh respawns in the form of Yite. Oh my god, time ran out!
The time, and they couldn't quite pull it back. That's going to be the end of it. 4-3, froyotech fall to Ascent. What a matchup that was. You said it. There was only going to be one push, and they went so hard. 2 Uber stock kills from Nursey, but man, oh man, they come up just short in the end. Huge win for the boys in blue.
Absolutely. Ascent played incredibly. I'm gonna bring up some stats, but even we don't need stats to know how incredibly back and forth that match was. Gonna look at them anyway. Just to give you a real quick rundown, Big Fraggers, Yite and Slemnish coming up with 47 and 49 kills respectively.
Whew. That's nuts.
Yeah, 33 deaths, 32 deaths. That's, kind of whatever. And then we have Banny and Eric coming up at 44 and 43. This was a huge scout game. All 4 players, they really showed up. They showed their stuff, and they showed why they're here and, why both teams have such a legacy built to them.
Oh, 100%. And I think, just looking at this match as a whole, sometimes you see a close game, but it's kind of forgettable. This was a match that was so exciting to watch. There's so many kills just spread amongst both teams. Of course, we went to time both halves, so that was a full hour of play. Look at you could add up all of these kills and it would be so high. It's like 500 kills across everybody in the server. So much action, almost non-stop in this matchup. And so it really came down to almost a DM fest. But of course, those little plays, the little calls that were being made was also crucial to this game being played. So honestly, could have gone either way. Froyotech, I think they got to, go back, but they don't need to beat themselves up too hard over this loss. It's only, regular season week 4. Both these teams, no doubt in my mind, are going to make playoffs. No doubt they're going to meet in those playoffs. That's when it's going to really matter.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see how far both of these teams can grow from now until then. They both have a lot that they can take away from this, both in terms of what they can change and what they can look for in the other team. And it's not a recent matchup, Ascent versus Froyo. It's been happening for 12 seasons now across whatever names they use. Ascent, BNFS, Elevate, not Exertus, whatever the other one was, Ronin, stuff like that. Whether or not it's the exact same roster, we've been seeing these two teams going up against each other for so long, and now in the final season of ESEA, we may have a real competition on our hands.
Oh, I sure hope so. Ladies and gentlemen, is that going to be it from us, Bill? And do you have anything else that you want to tell the people about?
Yeah, I want to tell the people that I had a fantastic time casting with Cornpop. I was so glad that you were able to be here with me for, honestly, one of the best Granary matches I've ever seen.
Oh, me too. That had to be top 3 Granary games I've ever casted.
Absolutely.
Easily. Yeah, no, fantastic to be back. I had to for the last season of ESEA. It was total blast casting TF2, watching TF2. Anything to do with TF2 is always so much fun. So happy to be here, and hopefully we get some more games later on the season as well.
Absolutely. And I'd like to give, of course, a big thank you to Lou, our camera guy. Lou, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. That was very, very good.
Great.
That was one of the best matches I think I've ever watched and produced, so that was very exciting.
Absolutely. Well, unless you guys have anything else to say, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Everybody have a safe time driving home. Be sure to be safe and have a nice night.